Thank you for listening to PoliticalStorm.com. I'm John Small. My wife Heidi is with us again. You're going to be kind of like a regular feature here now, aren't you?
Apparently.
That's awesome. Now, I'll still do interviews from time to time without Heidi, but I've got you here, and I'm gonna take advantage of that. Yesterday, you were going on and on about how you thought Clint Eastwood should be running for president.
I didn't say I thought he should be running for president. I said I really like Clint Eastwood.
He had some comments.
Awesome.
What was it that Clint Eastwood had to say? He was talking about something.
Said we're in a pussy generation right
is that
now.
what it was?
And we are.
All right. So
we absolutely are. Everybody's so sensitive.
I remember watching the movie Gran Torino.
I liked his character.
And his character in that reminded me so much of your grandpa.
Yeah.
You know, although your grandpa was a lot nicer than him, but there were things about him that reminded me of your grandpa.
Right.
And in the movie Gran Torino, now I'm starting to think that Clint Eastwood was not acting because that's starting to sound like
he had directed it, and I know. Did he write it? I don't know if he wrote it and directed it, or if he just directed it.
I don't know, but I got some news over here because we do want to get back to politics because that's what this PoliticalStorm.com break is about, and our podcast here is about. Over 3/4 of Americans want the next president to address Christian persecution. So this is a big deal. 75%, if my math is correct, over 3/4 of Americans want the next president, whoever that happens to be, to address Christian persecution. According to a Harris poll commissioned by Open Doors USA, it says 76%, so it's over 3/4, of respondents agreed with the statement, and here's the statement, I quote, "It is important to me that the next U.S. president be committed to addressing the persecution that some Christians face around the world," end quote.
Agreed.
So 24% of Americans didn't think so, but 76% of Americans.
Not Christians.
Well, and either that or they're just saying, you know, that's not what our president should be doing. But according to ChristianToday.com, the organization has set up a petition calling on the candidates to address this issue, and they're saying, hey, we'd like to know how you feel about this. Now, something that's been interesting over the last 48 hours or so, I've probably had, if not 10, maybe 15 people send me more information about Gary Johnson. And I've been doing my best to try to read up on Gary and watch the videos that you've sent. And he seems like an interesting guy. For those of you who don't know who Gary Johnson is, he is the most viable third-party candidate in the race today, I think. He is the Libertarian Party candidate and will be on the ballot in all 50 states. And there's a nice little uprising that he has right now that kind of reminds me a little bit of the Bernie Sanders uprising. And I really wonder if some of the Bernie Sanders support will now go to this Libertarian candidate, Gary Johnson, because there are some similarities, but there's a lot of differences too. And those differences happen to be very political differences, but the similarities, I think, are very much so in what a lot of the young people saw in Bernie Sanders. I think they're going to see in him as well. One of those happens to be based on drugs, marijuana. That's one of the things that, people were real stoked about Bernie. And that's something that Gary Johnson, because two of the videos that were sent to me spoke directly about that. And I'm like, who do you think I am? I've never done that in my life. I'm not a drug guy. So I must come across as though I am a big-time drug dude, but I'm not. So the videos are all over the place on social media. And like I said, I'm going to do a little more research so I can speak about this with some sort of intelligence. But I watched part of the town hall that they had on CNN, just a clip online. I didn't watch it live, but I watched a clip online. And they had some good answers to some questions. But here's the problem. Right now, even CNN, while they're doing the town hall, they kept saying, is it a wasted vote? It kept going on and on and on. At their own Libertarian town hall, the biggest issue is a vote for these two just a big waste? And there were people online that were adamant that it's not a waste. And I liked Gary's answer. He was saying a wasted vote is a vote when you vote for somebody that you don't even want, but because you think that they're the only ones that can win, I'm going to just waste my vote on this person I don't want. So there are a lot of people doing that this time. It's kind of like, when you had to eat
That's a concern for me, though, because sadly, as much as we dislike it, we are a two-party system in this country.
So that's kind of where it's become.
That's where they've pushed us.
Yes.
Yeah. And I do believe that it will it won't split the Democratic vote, but it will split the Republican vote.
If the Sanders crew goes for Johnson, that would split the Democrat vote as well. So that's where I see the similarities there, and I'm gonna do some more digging because, like I said, I haven't really had time. In addition to this podcast, I don't know if you guys know this, but I have a life too. So some people sending me stuff. You need to talk about this and this and this and this, and I'm like, yeah, let me get to some of it. I got a job to do too. By the way, if you would like to sign up on politicalstorm.com to chime in and have your voice be heard, there's a new button that you're going to see on the top right underneath of the regular place to sign up. There's one that says sign up. And then you can be on Sunny Radio. That's the radio station. This gorgeous woman that sits with me here, this is my wife. The two of us own a couple of radio stations, one in South Dakota, one in Iowa. And we do the morning show. And we're going to invite some politicalstorm.com contributors to join us on the radio with us here on Sunny Radio. So if you have not yet had a chance to sign up, it's free. It doesn't cost anything. Go sign up and be a part of that. And then, like I said, going to do some more research on Gary Johnson. And if there's somebody out there that's like a Gary Johnson expert and you say, hey, I'm going to write a Political Storm post about Gary Johnson and I want to be on the program, do it this week and maybe we'll feature you next week. Go sign up at politicalstorm.com. Again, thank you to my beautiful wife Heidi for joining me. For politicalstorm.com, I'm John Small.